As a podcaster, I know that there are a lot of pain points that especially budding podcasters suffer through when they're getting their show up and running and getting it out to the masses. Well, my name is Ileane. I'm with IleaneSmith.com. I'm your digital media tour guide. And today we're going to talk about podcasting, and I'm going to help you relieve some of those podcasting pain points. Thanks so much for joining and for watching. If you're here live, I really appreciate you. And I am always over in the Facebook groups. There's so many Facebook groups about podcasting that you can join. And one of the constant complaints that I hear from folks is that, they just struggle with the whole process of getting their show up and running, knowing when to promote, where to promote, and all of that. So, of course, I do have a few videos here where I talk about promotion. And so I will definitely link some up in the card here for you to check out the past videos. But today I want to talk about a tool that I started using, and I've never talked about this tool before. And you may have heard of it before and not thought about using it to promote your podcast. And that tool is Zapier. Zapier. Zapier is an automation tool. You can use it for so many different things. For example, when a student signs up to my school, I have an online school at learn.ileanesmith.com. Once they sign up, they automatically get added to my email list. And so keep that in mind, because email list is something that you should have if you want to solve some of your podcasting pain points. So and I want to say hi to everybody who's here if you get a chance. Oh, I see that Larry is here and Tish Rosales is here. I'm using a different platform this morning, guys, so I can't post the comments up on screen. I will do a screen share later on. As a matter of fact, let me pop out the chat now so I don't forget to do it that way, the old school way. I haven't done it that way in so long. I'm usually on eCam, but today I wanted to make sure that if anybody wants to join me on Cam, I sent the link out where you guys can join me on Cam. And Larry and Pam and Tish, I posted that link over in our Facebook group. Yeah, Facebook groups are a wonderful thing, aren't they? But let's just get to the Zapier demo right now so I can show you how you can integrate it with your podcast. Now, Zapier is a tool that works with triggers. You set up an action that happens, and then you want something else to happen as a result. So as a podcaster, you have this wonderful tool called an RSS feed. And in Zapier, you can take that RSS feed and publish it in different places. There's just so many different things you can do with it. I'm not going to go through all of them because there's just too many. Let's just stick to podcasting. So let me do a screen share here, guys. So this is the back end of my Zapier account. And actually, I have a couple of Zaps already set up. And as I mentioned, if you join my Teachable School, it'll automatically add you to my Aweber. Then this other one I just set up this morning because I was thinking about this. Your pain points keep me up at night. All right. So I was trying to figure out what's a good way that we can use Zapier to automate promotion. So I have several podcasts, but one of the podcasts that I have on Anchor is called The Anchor Show. So I set this up using Buffer so that every time I publish a new episode, it's going to post to one of my Twitter accounts, which is called Free Podcast Host. So as a matter of fact, let's go and open up my Twitter account. I'm just going to come back on screen while I'm doing that. I think I'm going to come back on screen. Yeah, there you go. I just noticed that I'm actually wearing the same shirt that I have in my profile pic. Time for me to update that profile pic, by the way. So let me go to Twitter. And I have an episode that's already in the queue to publish over on the Anchor Show, and it should automatically post over on the free podcast host Twitter account. Now, here's the thing. Some of your hosting providers have that already established. You post an episode and it automatically goes to your Twitter. But what happens when you have more than one Twitter? How about Instagram? You know, I know podcasters love Instagram. We love Instagram. Instagram is my favorite. Well, it's one of my favorites. I love Twitter too. And with Instagram, there's very few podcast hosts. In fact, I don't think there's any that actually will automatically post to your Instagram. Now, you need to have an Instagram business account, but with Zapier, you can automatically post to your Instagram every time you publish an episode by way of Buffer, the Buffer app. Okay. So that just expands how many accounts that you can post on. And so really quickly, I'm going to bring my attention back to the comments in a second, but I want you guys to see how this is set up in Zapier. I might call it Zapier. I might call it Zapier. Either way, I do know once you set it up, it's called a Zap. All right. So let's take a look at the Zaps again. All right. So here's the process. I already have this one turned on, but let's just take a look at it. All right. So of course I had to connect my accounts. So then I entered the new item, which was the RSS feed. And when you enter the RSS feed, and here's my Anchor RSS feed for the free, for the Anchor Show. And, you know, if I needed to have a password in there, I would put that in there. But of course I didn't need one. And there's a couple of other fields, but they're not mandatory. So I just had to put the one in that's required, which is the RSS feed. All right. And then you can run a test on it to make sure, you know, that that's working. Then you connect Buffer. All right. I've already done it. I've already connected my Buffer account. Okay. And then once you add to Buffer, it's going to give you the option of all the different Buffer accounts that you have. All right. So I have gone in already, and some of these are, you know, my Facebook page. And if I wanted to go to my Facebook page, but I can already do that on, let's say if I was using Libsyn, it could already post to my Facebook page. But with Anchor, it doesn't do it automatically. So this eliminates a step. What about Google Plus? Yes, some of us still use Google Plus. So if I wanted it to post to Google Plus, I could post it there. Now, I want to tell you, it just reminded me that with Zapier, you get 3 zaps for free. Say that 3 times fast. You get 3 for free. Then after that, you go move up to their paid plan. So I've already used 2, the one from Teachable to Aweber, and now this one from my RSS feed on Anchor over to my other Twitter account. See, this is the other advantage, the extra flexibility, especially if you've got more than one Twitter account. You can automatically, and I recommend, you know, have a Twitter account that's just for your show, or have a Facebook page that's just for your podcast that may be separate from another business page that you already had established even before you started your podcast, you know, or you just have different topics. So you have these different pages. So you have one set up, let's say you're using Libsyn or Spreaker. You have one that automatically posts there, and then you use this Zapier integration to post to the other one. Because, hey, you may have different audiences, and some people, especially with Facebook, may miss it in one place or the other. And like I said, with Instagram, this is beautiful because none of the hosts are integrated with Instagram, but you do need to have an Instagram business page. So now I'm going to take a look at some of the questions that we have over here on the chat. Let's get that screen share going. Give a shout outs to folks. Oh, okay, guys. There's a bunch of you here. I love you guys to pieces. Ann Capone is here, and I already mentioned Pam from Old Natural Aromatherapy. Tish Rosales is in the house. Hashtag Ileane Morning Fame. And then Larry says the PPP. That's right, the podcasters' pain points. And then Zapier is as in happier. Yes, we can all be happier once we connect Zapier. Okay. And then Ann Capone is here. And Andrew Hatchett. Hello. The Zoom Master is in the building. And also Fabulous with Alice. Hello, hello. If anyone is interested in coming in, let me know. And remember, I mentioned that Andrew is the Zoom master, and right away, here he is. Zapier has 43 zaps already set up for Zoom. Yes. So all of you guys who are using Zoom for live streaming, or even if you're not using it for public live streams, you're using it for your group or whatever, know that Zapier works with that as well. So that's one of the pain points that I wanted to talk about. So what we're going to do here, we're actually going to publish an episode. This is the power of RSS feed. And I don't know how long it takes for that episode. Once I publish it, it should go over to that Twitter account in a reasonable amount of time. But remember, this is the internet. Okay. So there's that. So let's give it a whirl, guys. So, I have to screen share. I'm going to screen share from my phone this time. All right, let me get that all situated. And Sharpful Gaming's here. Hello, my dear. How are you today on this beautiful, beautiful Sunday morning? And I'm going to go over into Anchor. All right. So, in fact, we're going to talk about some of these pain points. Some of these pain points that I discuss in this episode of Anchor. So I have everything all set up, all ready to go. So I'm going to say save, and then I'm going to say publish. Now, when you publish on Anchor, you have the option of publishing everywhere or just publishing strictly on Anchor. And because I want to do just a little test here, guys, I'm just going to publish this on Anchor right now. All right. But either way, it should be working off the RSS feed. Zapier doesn't know about this whole publish everywhere thing that Anchor has going. So let's see what happens. I'm going to publish it and see, I don't have publish everywhere toggled on. All right. So it is published. All right. Let's head over to Twitter. All right. Get me in between. And let's see what's going on over here on the free podcast host. And we'll give it a minute because it didn't post over here yet. So, and if it doesn't, then we'll go back in and publish it everywhere. So, was anyone planning on coming in with me? I know that Pam said that she would. However, I don't see you coming in, Pam. And you know what I'll do? I'll make sure you guys have the link. I'm going to post the link over on Facebook and the Facebook Messenger for patrons. So if anyone of the patrons wants to come and join me, and then I'm also, because Pam and I had already talked, so I'm also going to share it with Pam. And also Andrew, if you want to come in, I think you are in that Patreon Messenger group over on Facebook. Yeah, we have to work all these platforms together, guys, to get our stuff promoted and to keep our community together, because that's what it's about for me. It's all about having this wonderful community. So let's see what happened here. It did not post yet on Twitter. So maybe I do need to publish it everywhere in order for it to kick in. Let me just go over into Zapier and make sure your Zap was turned off. Oh, my Zap was turned off because I made a change. My fault. I didn't see that little thing up at the top of the screen. Okay. I blew it there, guys. I was supposed to leave that turned on. A test to buffer was sent. Okay. My fault. I turned it off by mistake when I was in there looking at it. And that's, in a way, that's a good thing that Zapier has that set up, that if you go in there messing around with it, it turns it off. You have to make sure that it's back on. So I'm not upset with Zapier at all. That was just and I knew that because I did it earlier. That was just me. User error, as I've been known to say. Okay, let's just look at it one more time. And we will publish it out to everywhere if we have to. And the only thing was I did not fill in a description for this episode. So that may be something that I want to do. Okay, let's publish it everywhere for now. I can go back and fill in the description later. So, okay, so now I see at least Pam says she can't pop in. Alice, what about you? And Larry, all these folks that said they wanted to come in earlier, they changed their mind. Okay, Larry says 5 minutes. All right, great. That's probably how long it's going to take for this thing to post, because I kind of flubbed it up. It's okay, though. At least you guys can see. And what I'll do is I'll show you the one that I did earlier this morning as I was setting this up. All right. Let's do that. Okay. So let's make sure we got the free podcast host Twitter account there. So here's the one that I did earlier today. And I have this as my pinned post here. Guys, I am such an advocate of podcasters. So I have this thinking about starting a podcast, whether it's for the very first time or you want to test out a new idea for a second show. You can dip your toe in the podcasting waters for free. And then I found this little GIF that drops the mic. And so this was the test that I did earlier. See, that was like 3 hours ago, where I post my last episode as a test. So it did work. Unfortunately, user error on my behalf. I turned it off at the wrong moment. Sorry about that. Got a little distracted going over to my Twitter account and see who's talking about me over there. Okay, so Guy is here, and I'm so glad you're here, Guy, because one of the things that we do here in this YouTube community is, let me demonstrate, is when you're on YouTube and in the chat room, you see the 3 dots there. You click on those 3 dots and you go to channel, and then you go to everyone's channel and subscribe to their channel. It doesn't hurt. It's free. It doesn't cost you a penny. And so, yeah, that's what we do. That's why Sharpful is saying, yes, he's subscribed to Andrew, and Sharpful has also subscribed to Guy. And very, very cool. Thank you so much, Sharpful. I appreciate you. You always get all the love here because I love how you are such a community guy. And Sharpful has no school on Monday. Jeez. What? Oh, Monday. They must be celebrating the holiday where you are. I don't have that. advantage at my job. I have to go to work. I remember the days though when I used to work in the banking industry, we would get that holiday off on Monday. So good for you. Have fun. And I know you'll probably be over here live streaming on YouTube. I don't have three dots. Is that only on the phone? I am on Firefox on desktop. If you're, I think this would be something that's even on Firefox. Let me just demonstrate it one more time, Guy, because I don't think Firefox would eliminate the option for you have to go to someone's comment and then go all the way over to the right-hand side of their comment. If you're looking at the screen right now, you'll see there, okay, in the chat box on YouTube, you click on those three dots and then go to channel. Now you'll have less options than I have here. All right. So that's how you do it. And you should be able to do that even on Firefox. Hey, Patricia, if you wanted to join me on cam, I already sent that link over there in the Facebook group. Okay, so let's talk about some of the other pain points. You know, a lot of folks are very critical. Oh, Fabulous with Alice says she's on mobile and she just clicks on the name. You're on Android, aren't you, Alice? I think it does. It works different on iPhone, I believe. Oh, I have to do it in the comments. Yes, and it's actually chat. Just so you'll know, when you're live, these are actually chat comments. They're not comments that remain on the video. They remain as live chat option. YouTube is maybe a little confusing when it comes to that, but it's not actually a video comment. It's a chat comment. So it's two different places that you can talk to me and talk to each other. Right now, only the chat is available. When the video is over, the chat will be there for people to see, but you'll only be able to comment in the comment section, which are under the video. And yeah, that's probably a whole entire video in itself, but I just gave you the Reader's Digest version. Thank you, Guy. Thank you so very much. Okay. Oh, Fabulous with Alice, you are on your iPhone. Good. Oh, we do have someone join us. So, Pat, I don't know if you saw what I was talking about, a tool called Zapier.
Just got here.
Okay. I was talking about a tool called Zapier that you can use to automate posting to different platforms when you have something that's published from your RSS feed. What's
Get a
wrong?
pen so I can write down that name.
Oh, okay. Don't have to worry about that. It's Zapier. Zapier or Zapier.
Thank you.
Okay. And you know what? Let's just go back over into the Zapier interface, guys, so you can see, oh, there's so many things that you can automate with Zapier. And so I just talked about the podcasting and the RSS feed, but there's a whole lot more going on over there. So let's just take a look. I got to move some windows out of the way. Okay, guys. So let's do that first. Quit the air server. And all right. So now we got Zapier. All right. So let's go over to the homepage. I'm gonna focus on that window there. All right, so let's just go over to, it says apps. I'm not sure what's the difference between the apps and the integrations. So I'm just gonna click on the apps because that was the first thing. So you'll see very popular things that integrate with Zapier. And like I said, this is an automation tool. Katie, hi dear, how are you? And Guy has mentioned IFTTT. Zapier is very similar to IFTTT, but here's the big difference. And I'm actually going to come on cam because I want to make sure that you guys understand the difference. IFTTT does do some good automations with social media, but they also do things like turning on your lights, before you come home, or turning your heat up or your heat down, depending upon it automates those kinds of things. However, Zapier is focused on business tools. So that's the distinction between Zapier and IFTTT. Okay. But IFTTT is very cool. And I know you can definitely use it for a lot of social media tasks. But just so you'll know, and you'll see when we go over to the apps, that these are business related. You won't see things here to turn your lights on and off and stuff like that. Okay. So these are the popular ones up at the top: Google Sheets and Gmail and Slack and Twitter and MailChimp, your Facebook, Google Calendar, Google Drive, Asana, HubSpot. All the major email marketing services are connected with this, then Dropbox, Evernote, which I know a lot of people love. I'm not a huge fan of Evernote. Salesforce, I know we even use that at work, and you have to have premium in order to integrate with that. And Infusionsoft, which is another one that is very expensive. Shall I say, very custom enterprise level email service provider. And they also, I think, have CRM. Yeah, they do have CRM. Woofu is an easy way to create and manage HTML forms. So you can probably set up those forms to grab people's information or get them to sign up for things.
Okay.
So a lot of these tools I have not used myself, but I do know what most of them are. ManyChat. Okay, you want to do your what is it called? Messenger marketing, aka Facebook bots. Okay. And so that's what. Congratulations, Sharpful is 1 sub away from 70 subs. And Katie says she loves IFTTT. Fabulous with Alice. Just started using IFTTT. Don't have it in fully integrated. Wait a minute. Yeah, but it is user friendly. Yes, it is. It is. And if you're using ManyChat, now I don't know if ManyChat works with IFTTT, but it definitely works, as you can see here, and it's not on a premium level. So this may be a way that you can, it's an all-in-one messenger marketing platform. So just so you guys know, they have to make it sound less, less cold. Instead of calling it a bot, they're calling it messenger marketing. I notice a lot of people using that terminology, but we know for real, it's a bot.
I like Wunderlist.
Beg your pardon?
I like Wunderlist. I like that.
Oh, okay.
Wunderlist.
Oh, okay. Where is it?
Right next to ManyChat.
Oh, are you using that?
Yeah, on my phone.
Oh, cool. All right. And Robert Lewis is here. Hi, Robert. Thank you so much for coming. Katie, the first 3 zaps are free because Katie wants to know if they are free. So, yeah, the first 3, say that 3 times fast, are free. So right now I have 2 in there. I can get 1 more in there under the free plan. Let's just go here and see what the pricing is. Because, I got a feeling somebody cares about the pricing. Say what, Pat?
$90.
Huh?
$90 billed annually. Good gracious.
Okay, but that's the professional plan. Why'd you go to the highest one?
Those are big numbers. That's why they track.
But remember, I said it integrates with all those enterprise software, like Infusionsoft. Infusionsoft itself is like $500 a month. So we're talking enterprise level stuff here. Salesforce, I know we use that at work. It's probably a few $1,000s a month for the way we're using it. But let's look at the starter prices, okay? $13.75 if you're billed annually. So I don't know. It probably comes up to like $15 if you just want to do it for 1 month. Okay? I don't know. I'd have to do the math. All right? But Yeah. So, oh, the other thing that I found out this morning watching some tutorials preparing this for you guys is that you can also add in something called a delay. So let's just say, for example, when I do a YouTube video, when I do these YouTube live videos, sometimes it takes YouTube a little long to get my thumbnail and code in there. Okay. So if I was to say, tweet this out immediately, it would have the wrong thumbnail.
Mm.
Okay. And not the greatest looking thumbnail either. It's okay, but nothing that actually gets people's attention. I could put it on that delay. So even though I wanted to go get tweeted out automatically, I could put it on that delay to say, wait for a few hours, or maybe even I could say 12 hours, because that would give YouTube more than enough time to encode the video and all that and let me upload the thumbnail. Because, like, for example, with this broadcast that I'm using right now, I'm using the old school Hangouts on Air. I can't upload a custom thumbnail. So if anybody was to tweet this video out right now, it it will not have a custom thumbnail.
Yeah, you'd have to do it afterwards.
After it's encoded. It's not even just after the video is over. You have to wait for it to encode. Anybody else who tweets it out. Like for me, I have the image, so I would just upload the image to Twitter or whatever. But if anyone else tweets this out, it's going to have the wrong image. So
Gotcha.
It's not the end of the world. It's just at least the person's still sharing it for you. There is still an image. It's just not the one that I have as a thumbnail for the video. Hello, Mr. Snow. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Let's talk about your usage of Zapier.
I use it to spy on people.
In what way? How does that work?
I track people on Twitter.
By hashtags, keywords, their Twitter handle.
Geolocation as well.
And location. So when the Zap finds this person or this keyword or whatever, what does it do? Email you?
Email, yep.
There you go.
I have to remember to use hashtags on Twitter.
I'm sorry. Say that again, Pat.
I have to remember my hashtags on Twitter. I keep forgetting.
Yeah, that's major, especially since, by you being doing local stuff, you definitely want to use your local hashtags. Pat, we'll get you together. But
I got good news, though.
What's that?
I got my Ethernet cable. It's hooked up right now. And I did my first Bull City Notes on Ecamm this morning.
Yay! And you know what? Now that you say that, your picture is coming in a lot more. The quality is higher than it usually is. And I never thought that there wasn't,
Yeah.
Now I can see that there's more pixels happening there or something.
So Ethernet's always better than Wi-Fi, I guess.
Well, it depends upon your internet. And I guess in your case, that's seems to be the case.
Yeah. So it went without a hitch. And yeah. So I think today is my 7th day. So tomorrow I'll be purchasing Ecamm using your, what's that word? Affiliate
link.
Affiliate link.
All
I think
right.
you sent it to me. I'll have to look for it. But yeah, I think you sent it to me already.
Yeah, I will send it to you again. Don't worry. And just so everybody knows what we're talking about, the software that I usually go live with is called Ecamm Live, but Ecamm Live doesn't integrate with Hangouts on Air, and the only way I can bring my friends on screen is with Skype. But today we're having a little issue with that anyway. So
you didn't figure that out with the audio problem?
No, I know. I figured out that there is an issue. I just don't know if it's Ecamm is the issue or if Skype is the issue.
Darn.
And because I couldn't figure out how to send the diagnostics, and I wanted to go live on YouTube, so I didn't even
post attention because I wanted to use Ecamm for my TV Skywriter show.
Okay, let me explain, Pat. I'm on the beta version. So my experience is not going to be the same as yours.
Okay.
That's why I'm not upset or anything that it's not working, because that's the whole thing of being on the beta version. You're like the crash test dummy that goes out there and tries to break it and finds all the holes and all the things that could possibly go wrong with the software, and goes back and tells the developers, and then they fix it. And then once everything is all fixed, they release that to everyone else. And then we go to the next round and we start asking for more stuff. And
Yeah.
boy, oh boy, we've got just about everything. I think the one thing that I would love to see them do instead of Skype, to integrate with another tool, but
Yeah.
that's a whole nother story.
Antiquated.
You know, a lot of people will have those issues about.
But I love Ecamm so far.
And Robert is asking only for Mac. Yes,
Yes.
Robert, it's only for Mac, and they do not do PC development. So it's not coming to a PC unless there's some PC guys out there somewhere that can just say, you know what, we should just make that for PC because everybody wants it.
Yeah. Surprised me. I broadcast to my Durham Skywriter page, and then when it was over, I have to remember to delete it, but it's saved to my computer automatically. I'm going to delete that though. But what surprised me was that it asked me if I wanted to share it on YouTube, and it only took 5 minutes, and it uploaded to YouTube. I haven't checked it out yet, but that surprised me. I wasn't expecting that.
But why is it that you want to delete it?
It takes up space. It takes up.
No, I mean, but here we're talking about podcasting today. So here, that would be a perfect way for you to take that file, convert it, and upload it to your podcast, because you got an Anchor podcast.
Oh.
And then you can delete it.
That's why you're Miss Ileane. I'm not.
You know, I want to see you guys get your message out there to as many people as possible. And because if you're going to be doing this now that you've got Ecamm and you're going to be doing these more regularly, then you should start turning that into a flash briefing. And for that, I bring up my friend, Mr. Larry Snow.
Mr. Larry Snow.
Hello.
Yes, the flash briefing.
Yeah, what about that?
Do you have that, Larry?
Ileane will tell you.
He knows how to do it. And so because what you're doing with your Bull City notes, and for those of you who don't know, Patricia is in Durham, North Carolina. So she's talking about local things, local events, what's going on. Maybe there's an event or there's a traffic issue or...
Yeah. Actually, with Bull City notes, I try to keep it to 5 minutes. Basically, it's simply a list of what's happening today in Durham. I also give the weather report, and I also, if it's something really special, like for example, scholarship fair, I'll give some hints to the students as to how to present themselves or whatever. Glean from the article that's in the Durham Skywriter as well, because I'm always trying to direct people, even though they're watching the show. I want to always direct them to my newspaper, Durham Skywriter. So that's why I signed up for the Flash News. I haven't been accepted yet, but I thought that would be kind of helpful for people to be able to listen on Alexa.
So when you applied for it, didn't you have to give them your RSS feed of your show? Because if I'm not mistaken, you have to have at least 5 items in there. Isn't that correct, Larry?
Oh, I did it prematurely then. I don't have 5 yet.
I don't know. Let's see if I'm right, Larry. Does that make sense?
So I was curious too why you say you haven't been approved yet. So you've already, so the process is to sign up for free through the developer account, and then go through the process of connecting your RSS feed to the A-word briefing, the flash briefing.
Okay.
So you need to connect it through, I believe it's Alexa. Sorry, I had to use the A word. Sorry, Lexi, and then get approved that way. So you have to go through a series of steps. So
okay,
the last step is to get the approval.
But how many?
I did it backwards.
But my question is, in that feed, how many items have to be in that feed
To get approval?
for it to even work?
Oops.
One.
Oh, okay. Is that Barb?
Barb. Dramatic entrance.
Hi, Barb. Or you're on cam, Barb. Well, actually, your horses are on cam. Oh, that was Pat. Okay.
How about turning my mic on?
Yeah, that'll help. And Pat had to turn hers off because she got a phone call. That was not Barb's sound. That was Pat's sound. How are you, Barb?
I'm totally frazzled, and I have to go, to the cancer center here in God, do my math, 45 minutes. So I can't stay long, but just wanted to check in, see how everybody was doing.
Yeah, appreciate you for checking in. And, I know that you're taking care of your friend and helping him deal. So we are all sending out our prayers.
Definitely.
So thanks for taking the time to pop in and say hi. So we were talking about Zapier and, really we're talking about podcasting and podcasting pain points. And one of the pain points that I know that podcasters have is with promoting. Everybody wants to know, how do I grow my show? How do I get more of an audience? And you've got to use social media. And I know, especially the budding podcasters or the ones that are just getting started, like, well, I don't use Twitter, or I don't use this and I don't use that. If you want to grow your show, social media is a really good way to do it. And if you have a following on any of the platforms, especially if you have like a Facebook business page or Instagram, those are great ways for you to promote your podcast, and as well as Twitter.
I gotta go, so I'll see you later.
Okay, that must have been a hot phone call. All right.
Yeah.
All right, we'll keep
go out for breakfast.
All right, keep us up to date.
Bye.
Bye.
Appreciate you for stopping in.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So, Barb, are you? I know right now is a trying time, but when things settle down, if and when they settle down, are you going to continue with your podcasting, or what's going on?
Well, I've always seen podcasting as the alternative opportunity to live communication. And particularly, I think that my interest was drawn to it as a result of the Anchor.fm app. And so I continue to watch that. And my purpose in actually, keeping up with it at all is I see the change and what is going on online. And the boomers, as you know, and the Gen Xers have more time to put into communicating. And we've also had the life experiences of, oops, maybe I screwed up. I need to reevaluate the situation. And God, I hope my kids and grandkids know all about this before I'm gone.
Yep.
And so it's all about the story.
Yeah, and it's a legacy. And it's a great way to capture legacy quickly. You don't have to worry about, getting all prettied up for the camera or whatever the case may be. Some people are camera shy, and it's a great way that you can just use voice and get that legacy captured. So I just really want to share folks over in the chat. And then I'm going to, since you talked about Anchor, I'm going to go over and look at Anchor for a minute. So here we go. There's Robert Lewis and Robert, I think, and Andrew. You guys probably need to connect if you haven't connected already. All right. And what other things can you connect with Zapier? Okay, we'll go back to the Zapier piece really quickly then.
Almost everything, I think.
Yeah, there's thousands. So, just so you'll know that we're not going to go through them all, because there's like thousands of integrations at this point, and a lot of them are tools I never even heard of before. So I was on the apps tab. So let's just go over to integrations tab, because I'm not sure what the difference is. So let's just do it anyway. So those are popular ones. We already saw those. Let's look at recently added. Okay. So there's some stuff that, like I said, stuff I never even heard of before. Feedler. Got to look into that one because I don't know what's going on with that. These beta ones, I would probably avoid right now. Just give them some time to come out of beta. Okay. Unless you're like me, like Andrew said earlier, beta testers, you got to have a good stomach for things to go wrong. There's Hello Bar, which I know a lot of bloggers have used for a long time. There's Learnwords. Let me think. Let's see if there's anything. I know that Robert is into mortgages and real estate. Let's see. Probably I would need to search under finance, maybe. No, I don't see anything with finance. Why don't you give me an idea of an app, Robert, and we'll type it in and see if it works with Zapier. How's that? That's probably a better way to do it. Because there's just so many, like I said, when there's thousands, I would just be randomly throwing out names and not knowing if you guys even care or not. So why don't you just tell me, like, what's an app that you use regularly that you would like to automate? Like, if you really think about it, it would be great if you could just automate that, and this is especially good for someone. Hi, I am Jason Allen. This is especially good for someone who has multiple social media accounts. This is, to me, the quickest, easiest thing that you can integrate. All right. So like for me, I have 3 Twitter accounts. So while I'm attending to my Ileane account, I can have this automation going on over on Free Podcast Host or on my Basic Blog Tips account where I don't even have to do anything. I just push it out. And because of the RSS integration, I don't have an extra posting to worry about.
And this is all true if we use Zapier? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, I showed it earlier.
Okay. I'll catch up. Don't worry.
Yeah, really quickly, because you're not the only one who just got here. I'll just show it really quickly again here. I don't mind at all. Let's just go over in there and get it set up before I start showing it.
So Zapier is a competitor to If This Then That?
No, they actually serve 2 different purposes. Zapier is more business related. They work the same, but the tools that you can connect with Zapier are business. Like, for example, one of my Zaps is Teachable to Aweber. You're not going to find that in IFTTT.
Right.
IFTTT doesn't integrate with any of the email service providers that I know of. There may be a MailChimp integration. I'm not sure. But any of the others, no. And it definitely does not integrate with Teachable. So when someone signs up for my Teachable, they go into my Aweber.
Wow. That looks cool. And I can tell you firsthand, I've never been able to get the IFTTT thing to work right for me.
Yeah, I personally do not use IFTTT, but really quickly, one way that I think is really good for people who never heard of it before are like, what is that for? When you post something to Instagram and you want it to post to Twitter, like if you just use your Instagram app, it's going to post without the image. There's going to be an Instagram link. It's going to be boring. Nobody from Twitter is going to click on your Instagram link. Really, seriously.
Can you use Zapier with Instagram?
Beg your pardon?
Can you use Zapier with Instagram?
Yes, but it has to be a business page. The integration is through Buffer.
Okay.
Through Buffer, and so it needs to be a business page.
Okay, thanks.
But with IFTTT, you can use a recipe, and I don't think you need a business page for this, that will go from Instagram to Twitter and bring in the image. I keep telling my daughter she needs to do that but she doesn't care about Twitter. But her stuff goes to Twitter all the time. I'm like, well, yeah, really, nobody's going to pay your Twitter any attention. You never post an image. But that is one way that I had thought about integrating with IFTTT. But I rarely post to Instagram. Most of my postings are to stories. And so it's not a big deal for me. Like, I might post to Instagram once every 3 weeks. So it's no big deal for me to go ahead and share that on Twitter. You know what I mean? It's not really saving me time. But for somebody who's prolifically posting on Instagram all the time, posting images and just don't want to think about, okay, I need to post this on Twitter too. Whereas with me, Twitter is more my primary and then other things are secondary. So. Oh, okay. So I think Guy, it said IFTTT is free and Zapier gives you 3 free zaps. I think it's better for the purpose defined. Bye for now. Thanks for taking the time. All right, Guy. Thank you. Pre-app 1003 online application tool. Application comes in and I use Zapier to start a drip I have set up in Salesforce. Yes, Zapier works with Salesforce. So, but I don't know what pre-app 1003. So I guess you're saying that you already know about that being a Zapier integration, Robert? I'm assuming that's what you're saying to me. I just went over there and searched for it and I didn't see it, but I never heard of that before. So there's so many cool tools out here. Yeah, that doesn't seem to come up, but I do know Salesforce because I showed that earlier. Salesforce is definitely connected with it. And I guess there's always like a third party that you could go from here to there and back into. Can I? I think Drip is definitely connected to it. Let's see. Yep, Drip is one of the integrations. So let's take a look at that. Okay, so here's the Drip integration. And these are some of the other things that commonly are connected through Drip. As I'm scrolling through here, I'll just call out a couple things: Google Forms, HubSpot, Slack, Schedule Once, Zoom, Salesforce, Shopify, PayPal, Samcart, Squarespace. Okay, there's 100 of them, so I'm about done with saying. You just have to go over there and look, Mr. Robert. I'm so sorry. I didn't see your thing right away. Oh, can you come on? Yes, I posted the link over there in Work and Focus. I posted the link in Work and Focus. Please come on. Yes, I would love for you to do that. Okay, sorry, guys. I should have put my water away from the mic. All right, so now we can talk about Anchor because I want to talk about podcasting, even though I'm definitely willing to take other topics as they come in and some other things that podcasters, pain points that are being solved by Anchor that I kind of wish some of the other podcasting hosts would pay attention to and integrate them with their platform. And that latest one is this cover art. You can update your cover art right in your Anchor dashboard using their integration with Unsplash. Okay, and so here's the cover art that I have now. I can download that. I probably already downloaded it on my computer anyway, but let's one more time. Why not? Okay. And then if I want to update that, I just go into cover art here. I can search for a photo. I can go ahead and upload an image, or I can have Anchor choose one for me. But I thought this one was so appropriate when I realized that not only is it a boat, because I'm your digital media tour guide, right? Helping you navigate through the waters. But when you increase the size of that image, you'll see here that you can see the anchor in front of the boat. So when I saw that, I was like, okay, that's the one I'm going to stick with, at least for the next couple of days. All right. So I don't want to change it, but if I wanted to, I would go in there, search for art, and you can type in a keyword, it will bring up, and then you can add your text on top. And there's all kinds of fonts and everything in there for you to use as well. So for me, this was a big deal because, like I said, I know this is a pain point for a lot of podcasters because I see the questions coming up. And every time somebody goes out to a designer and they're like, which cover art should I use? Should I use this one, this one, this one? And it's like, it's not that serious. Just pick one. And don't get me wrong, guys. I'm not trying to, people are very picky about their branding and all that. And when it comes to a YouTube thumbnail, super, super important to make sure that you're attracting that click. But pretty much when somebody wants to decide if they're going to subscribe to your podcast or not, they're not going to really care about your thumbnail. And where are they going to see this thumbnail? It's not like they're in iTunes or Apple Podcasts looking, oh, I can't figure out what podcast I'm going to subscribe to today. Let me just go by the cover art. If you have those kinds of listeners, good luck with them. Okay. That's all I can say is, your listener is someone who is interested in your topic and what it is you have to say. And hopefully once they listen to your podcast, they're going to resonate with you, your personality, your guests that you're bringing on, your style, and all of that. They are not going to determine if they're going to subscribe to your show or not based on your cover art. Now, that's my opinion. And I've never subscribed to someone based on their cover art.
But when you share that out, though, doesn't it capture the person's attention if they see an image out on
social media? That's the truth. That's true. But it doesn't
people in because the picture will relate to the topic.
Absolutely. And that's why I like the fact that I can just change it. I can easily just go in there and just change it. I've already changed it 4 times. Now, I haven't changed the one on my lips in, because now that's a bigger production. I have to get my artist to give me a few samples and I say, I like this one. And then I thought about it. And I'm like, why do I even go through all of that? It's not that serious. It's just, change it up every now and then if you want. But if you don't, you don't have to. I even heard one of the podcasting hosts say that don't put your face on cover art. It never, and I'm like, what? Why not? It's my podcast. It even has my name in it. Like, why would I not put my face on my cover art?
Right. Especially if your podcast has nothing related to Ileane Smith, the person, but if you put your picture on there, people will say, oh, this is Ileane Smith's podcast.
Thank you. Thank you, Larry. So I'll just tell that podcast host, he doesn't know what he's talking about. It's going to get me in trouble, but it's okay. All right. So Robert, is there a problem with the link or anything? You said, can I come on? And I have not seen anything else. Is everybody still there in the chat? You guys got quiet over there. Just type in the chat. Andrew, if you're still there, just type in, hey, I'm here.
Ileane, I was just, can I interrupt just real quick?
Yeah, sure.
I was, you know how I am. I stream out to other sources so I can get things done while I'm listening in. And I had to run back over to my system because I heard this thing about the cover art and what the podcasters were telling you. And having art in my blood since childhood, the thing is that, and being involved with the technology revolution, one thing I noticed about these podcasters, the early adopters, all primarily introverts. So putting their face on anything is a challenge, period. So you're just going to take it as a grain of salt. And being here in the now, whole different ball game. And I agree with what Larry had to say. And so just put that down and move forward, because this is the now and you're on to something with the anchor. So
thank you.
Yes, ma'am. I've got your religion.
Thank you for your support. And guys, hi, Juan Carlos. Juan Carlos is here. Thank you so very much for coming. And guys, what you got to understand about me, and some people say, well, you're such a big advocate for Anchor. I am an advocate for you as a podcaster. I want you to get your voice out. I don't want you to have all these barriers about, oh my God, an RSS feed. What is that? Oh, how do I submit my podcast to all these different places? When you have this app that's saying, we're going to submit it for you. You don't have to do it. And,
Amen.
It makes it easy. So go for it. And, you can always keep your content. Don't we know that well, Barb and Larry?
What? I'm sorry. I was daydreaming.
No, I was just saying keep.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Yes.
Okay. I'm a spank. Keep your content. Download your content, people. That's why I almost got upset with Pat earlier when she said, I just deleted it. No, keep your content. If you don't have enough storage on your computer, get Google Drive, get Dropbox, get an external drive, whatever it takes. Keep your content, because when somebody goes away or when one of these places goes away, it could be Facebook. Just imagine all those images that you've uploaded to Facebook or Instagram. The co-founders left, right? So people may or may not know whether that's going to make big changes for Instagram or not. We don't know. We're on one side. We don't know what's going on behind closed doors. We can speculate until the cows come home or till the horses get out the stall. But I'm just saying to you, as someone who has been through this before, have your content in your possession somehow, so that, yes, these places can shut down in the middle of the night. And when they do, yes, you may shed a tear, but yes, you will keep it moving because you still got your content. They can't take it away from you.
I got to run.
All right, my dear.
Hey, Barb.
Take care. All right, so let's see. Ann Capone, I see you posted that little thinking emoji. What's up with that? Overwhelmed, not include. Oops, I mean Buenos Tardes, Juan. Oh, okay. Here but not presentable. Okay, no problem, Andrew. I just wanted to make sure you guys were still in the audience. And I guess you're just thinking about what it was I said. Any videos, download those lives. Yes, and videos down. Yes, keep your lives. Well, this is one thing I love about Ecamm, because when you use Ecamm Live, it makes a copy of your video. You never have to download, even though I downloaded from YouTube anyway, just in case. I don't know. And then the other day, I actually said, you know what? Let me compare these two files. Let me see if there's any quality difference from that YouTube live video. Now, I know there would be a quality difference from the Facebook video, because Facebook, first of all, is only 720p. But let me just see if there's any quality difference. And mainly I was thinking about audio because I was going to repurpose something. And I was like, they were the same. I lined them up in a couple different tools and I'm like, they look exactly the same to me. Maybe there is some little slight difference somewhere that I wouldn't be able to hear myself. But Mr. Robert Lewis.
Good morning. How you doing?
Hi. How are you?
Yes, I need to quit looking down and look up. I apologize about the sporadic typing. I was trying to drive, but I was asking the question with Zapier, if you could digress just for a moment.
Yep.
And maybe this gentleman online might know a little better, but some of that pre-app 1003, that's an application that I use. It's an online application tool. And what I've been trying to figure out is make some of these things that aren't in the same ecosystem communicate for the purpose of automation and cutting out some tasks that I have to do, right?
So it's just called 1003?
Pre-app, PREAPP 1003. That's what it's called.
No, I didn't see that. And I'm searching for it again now, and I don't see that.
So it has to be within that group in order to use.
In their list. Or it could be that there's something that integrates with pre-app. Let's just say it was, I know this isn't the case, but let's just say it was Buffer. Because I don't know what you use pre-app for, but let's just say it was a Buffer type of tool that integrates with pre-app. And even though pre-app doesn't integrate with Zapier, Buffer integrates with Zapier. And so if you know what I mean, it would be through a third party. So you would have to find another tool that does integrate with Pre-app. Do they have any integrations with, because you mentioned Salesforce?
Yeah, they don't necessarily, and that's what I'm trying to find. That Jason mentioned to me something called Janus AI. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's
Janus.
Janus, was it J-I? It might be Janus, Jinas or AI. But anyway, it's kind of like the middle type software that allows some of these things that aren't associated to talk. And so we're working on some stuff with ManyChat. I know you mentioned that earlier, but basically all I'm trying to do is, application comes in and I have a bunch of videos and things of that nature via Salesforce and bomb and a drip. And instead of having to go over there and manually do it, I wanted to see if there's a way, hey, I got your name, the certain things that kind of like puts it in a form, for lack of a better term, puts them in a certain group, and then boom, that drip turns on without me or somebody having to go do that.
Now, are you sure it's not Jira? Jira?
He said it was Janus, and it may be Janis.
Yeah,
but I'll try to find it before you get off here and put it in the deal. I mean to bring it up tonight.
Yep. Or just go over there and search it. Go over to Zapier.com and search for. But I do know Jira. I saw Jira, and I know we use that at work. That's a new platform they're using to simplify some of our workflows. The IT folks. I'm not on Jira, but they are. And I was like, the first time I heard them say that, I was like, what, Jira? I never heard of it. Well, how do you spell that? And now I see. I'm just noticing it right now that it integrates with this. So this is an enterprise level. This is geared toward business. Oh, and there's another thing. You can submit requests to Zapier. You can submit requests to them and say, my tool isn't on here. And I don't know exactly what the process is that happens next. They may have like a list of potentials, and then they say, oh, that moves that one up on the list. Or they may have to actually reach out to the Janus people and find out what needs to be done.
I'll put it over in your chat if somebody wants to.
Yeah, I did see that. And I don't see that on the Zapier website. So
okay.
Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
You just have to keep working.
So Robert, I've been on the Pre-app website and they have an integrations page.
Okay.
And that might be a good way to start with what can you integrate with Zapier. And I was just going down through the list, and one of them is Listing Booster. That connects with Zapier.
And that's and I'm sorry, what's your name, sir?
Larry.
Larry. You don't remember Larry Snow? I'm sorry.
You know what? Larry, I've slept since then. I'm moving, man. I apologize. No disrespect.
It's all right.
But yeah, that's another little marketing type thing. And I have some of the integrations, we call it LOS, loan originating software system. And these two things integrate. I was just trying to get more on the marketing side. And I heard Miss Ileane speak to Zapier being more of a business type solution. So I'm not technical enough. I was just looking for that middleman, that handshake, to get two applications that aren't in the same ecosystem, for lack of a better term, to communicate.
But, what I would do is just, figure out, or just contact Pre-app.
Okay.
Have you done that?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, I would just contact Pre-app and say, listen, guys, this is what I'm trying to do. What can you do for me? Because you are a paying customer of the application. So
yeah, it's not free. Nothing's free, right?
And Andrew over in chat is also reminding me that if you don't have an app, you can create your own. And they did show a YouTube video, and it did look pretty simple using that JSON stuff and I know Larry works on creating apps too, right, Larry? You never know. You might be able to find a developer to create something for you very affordably.
I just subscribed to Mr. Larry's channel. I speak whatever language that is you were speaking, Ileane. I'm bilingual, so I hear you.
Yeah, because you're talking big bucks here when we're talking about Salesforce and all these other platforms. So,
really
it's not like, oh, I'm just trying to get my stuff posted on Twitter.
Nah,
when you're talking about mortgages and real estate,
Yeah, we making money over here. Yeah.
We talking, and we talking,
Right.
different level. And this is what Zapier caters to.
Okay.
They cater to businesses,
Okay.
people that, are making money, not just people who just want to post from Instagram to Twitter.
So that's something you do, right, Larry? You code, you write apps.
I write web apps, not like highly detailed native apps. So
Gotcha.
I'm probably not the guy for you, but there are tons of those guys out there, and gals, of course.
Yeah, because actually they have a YouTube video on their website. I mean, on their YouTube. Zapier does.
Okay.
And it didn't look like it was that difficult, but when I see code, I automatically know I don't want to have anything to do with it. But then I saw that it was JSON was one of the, and Larry, you immediately came to mind when I saw that, because I was like, oh, I know Larry did that with the Lexi skill, right?
Flash briefing, yeah. But I grabbed it from Amazon.
Right. It's on one of those things that you can copy and you get the code and copy and paste. You just got to know where to paste it.
How do you guys feel about that Lexi thing? Not to say the name in case you have one of those. I'm not really, I don't need to talk to something. There's enough intrusion into your privacy. But for other people, what is it called? Skills? Is that what it's called, Ileane? A skill?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If you want to have your voice on the app so that, let's say you have a podcast or whatever, yes, it would be a skill. And it doesn't even have to be a podcast. It could be some other skill. It could be a game or something like that. And you can go through the Lexa skills library just to get an idea of, they may have some real estate applications out there. And then once you have it on the app, then your people can talk to the app and say, hey, what's the mortgage rate today? I'm sure I can ask her that, but I'm not going to ask her that.
And that's something Zapier that's how somebody could possibly use Zapier. Is that what you're saying?
No, I don't think Zapier would work with that integration.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
But then again, that's a good question. Something that I would have to look into.
Yeah, I don't know if Zapier connects to it, but you can skill up. You can put in those skills like Ileane was saying, and you could certainly, if you find the right programmer or teach yourself how to use the skills element of Lexi, people who are looking for real estate, mortgages, lending opportunities, anything like that, you can build your own skill and have it available for free through the Lexi devices, Echo devices. And you could even do video, Echo Show. You could do a video show on mortgage and real estate. And so the sky's the limit with that stuff. I started exploring it for a while. I fell off of it for a while because it takes up a lot of my time to discover how to do these things.
Right.
And then I did the flash briefing for a while, just voice, and we weren't getting the audience. So that's something to keep in mind. You could build something, but unless your audience is there, you just wasted effort.
Right. One last question, if I may, Miss Ileane.
Sure.
Larry mentioned this when I was driving. Dig into that geocoding thing. So I have a local office, right? How are you tracking these people with Zapier? How are you using Zapier to capture information using a geocode? I think I heard
through Twitter. I'm using the geolocation that Twitter provides. Not everyone has geolocation turned on Twitter, but some of the tools that Zapier. So Zapier will capture that geolocation of that particular person who's tweeting, and I can do a radius. So I can do 10 miles, 50 miles, 100 miles. And there are some other tools that you can use to do that outside of Zapier. But Zapier, I felt, was granular detail. Like I could do not just if this, then that, but if this, then that, if this, then that, if this, then that. So I could say, if this person is tweeting this hashtag and is in this geolocation within a certain radius, and his name is Chuck, then send me that message, and it will send me that tweet. So I could get really down into the details for that type of thing.
Got you. So if I had a coffee shop, if Chuck is in 3 miles of the coffee shop, hit him with a 10% off or latte, whatever, all that stuff they drink. And
yeah, you could certainly find an audience that way for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, man.
You don't have to even use Zapier for that. You could use Twitter and you could use TweetDeck. TweetDeck has a filter in place where you could do a geolocation that way and do the radius. And anyone who's tweeting about coffee or talking about coffee in that radius, you can get those people and you can tweet to them directly.
We'd love for you to do a video about that, Larry.
I have done a video on TweetDeck.
You did about the geolocation part?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we got to get that link and post it over there in the chat. I remember, I thought you did something with Twiriad. Did you do anything with that?
What was that?
It's an app called Twiriad.
No, I did not do Twiriad.
Oh, okay. All right.
I have no idea what that is.
All right. So you just have to refresh my memory and everyone else's memory about your Twitter search, because Twitter search, I think, is something that a lot of people overlook the powers of it, including myself. And because of location, you know, like my daughter has this conference coming up, right? The Women in Real Estate Summit is coming November the 3rd. This is the second annual one, by the way. I got to give her a shout out. And that may be a good way for her to promote that event, even though she's almost sold out. So she probably don't need to promote it, but it's still a good idea. Because she has that weekly mastermind every Wednesday night. They meet for the mastermind for the real estate league. And so that may be a way. I might be able to actually get her interested in Twitter.
What's the demographics for Twitter? I mean, is it still an older type, folks that got some money, or are the kids still using it? Do you guys know? No.
I do know that there's not that as many young people on Twitter. Twitter is never really attracted that younger demographic, because I know from my work, we try to go after college students, and even a lot of them may use Twitter to monitor, but then their accounts are private, so they wouldn't show up in any of the searches and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I definitely feel like it's folks that have money, you know, or it could be a wide range. And what you can do is go into your Twitter analytics and see, you know, they try to estimate your followers' income levels and all that. And really quickly, just to go back to what we were doing here with Zapier, my tweet did go out. Finally, I just want to show that it did go out of solving the podcasters' pain points from the Anchor podcast. And that went out 47 minutes ago. So I just probably needed to wait a couple more minutes and it showed up. So we know that it doesn't go out immediately, but it takes a while for the internet to send it from the RSS feed over to Zapier, over to Buffer, and then for Buffer to post it out there.
That was a nice picture too, by the way.
Thank you. Thanks to Chanel. This is a repurposed graphic.
Thumbnailologist, is that what you call it? A thumbnailologist or something like that?
No. No, actually, that would be Tish, who is the hashtagologist.
Hashtagologist. I know it was some type of ologist over there. Yeah.
But my daughter, she had a graphic designer at one time. Her name is Chanel. Now we have Brianna, but Chanel made this piece of art for me for a different project back in 2016. And that guest author, one day I went to go publish his post, and I guess he said, she's taking too long to publish my post. I'm taking it off of her and publishing it somewhere else. It was gone. I was like, oh, well, that's a good piece of art, though. I'm going to hold on to it. And so I finally got a chance to repurpose it. So it's the podcast art, and it's also the cover art for this YouTube video.
Gotcha.
Always
and then with this Zapier, like you were saying, Miss Ileane, because I kind of slowed down a bunch. I've been doing a little more Zoom type stuff, and with the webinars, right? But I I agree with you about, from Blab and just a little rabbit trail. I hadn't really found that Blab thing. I really love that because we could do stuff like this. But anywho, I agree with you about saving your content. That way, if they shut something down, you're not up the creek. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, storage, especially Google Drive, and Amazon AWS, is so cheap.
Yeah.
That it's cheaper than even buying the device to have that external drive.
Right.
Like I have an external drive that I've been using for years now, and I probably paid about 30 or 40 bucks. But I bet in all those years, if I would have everything that I have on that drive, if I would have instead stored it on Google Drive or AWS, it probably would still be cheaper than the 40 bucks that I paid for that external device.
Right.
Because they literally store your stuff for pennies. Like I have extra storage on Google Drive. It cost me $2.
Yeah, you can't beat it. And it's there. I do like the, your stuff you need. I always had a physical copy. Maybe you could pick up and roll with it if something happens. But
yeah,
like you say, you can't beat the online. That's
and and podcasters need to be aware of that too. And I know this is kind of like one of the fears that people are trying to instill about using a site like Anchor. And I get it. I understand because it is painful when a site shuts down overnight. I'm not saying that Anchor's shutting down overnight. I'm just saying this is the fear that's being put out there.
Right.
But what I want to say to you is I've had sites shut down, not Anchor, not just Blab, but Blip TV. When I say I started podcasting in 2009, I was using Blip TV. I actually had a video podcast, and they decided that they didn't want to do it anymore. And so they shut down. Okay. But it's not the end of the world. That happened back in like 2011. Did that stop me from podcasting or YouTubing? Hecky no. And it's not going to stop you either. If you guys, and when I say you, I'm not talking to you, Robert. I'm just saying anybody who's listening to this, don't think that a site shutting down or something goes away or your RSS feed breaks. It is not the end of the world. That's why it's important for you to keep your content and just keep it moving. Move on to the next.
And use YouTube, right? Because they've never shut down, right?
They haven't shut down, right? And that's why I say Google Drive and Amazon AWS.
But you could lose your account, though.
Yeah,
you can lose your account.
They can block you.
Yeah,
and there are some people that claim that YouTube shut them down without any warning, even though I don't believe them. But let's just say it happened. It could happen. You haven't been checking your emails, and you didn't know you had all these copyright strikes. And then all of a sudden your YouTube gets shut down. Well, if that ever happened to someone like myself who uses Ecamm, I didn't even have to go and download my stuff from YouTube. Ecamm saves the video. Now, this video right here, I'm not using Ecamm. I need to go down. When we're done here, I'm going to download this and put this on Google Drive or whatever, or on my computer.
I just think with the ease of everything, even myself, you got to take it serious. And a lot of things out here now, even from Blab, and like you said, no disrespect to anybody. That's the last time I'm gonna put that disclaimer out there. So y'all go back and listen to it. But the deal is this, it's hard work and dedication anytime you're trying to make $1, period. And because you can go on and get a free Gmail and things of that nature, it's just, just a ton. I have 7. I was going through, I'm moving. I got 8 Gmail accounts. I'm like, I was tripping. I'm just Gmailing everything. You know what I'm saying? And so the convenience is costly in that, you don't necessarily consider the cost of these things when you're going through, if that makes sense. So. Oh,
so are you in a new location now?
We're moving. So
good.
Yeah, I'm getting this one ready. I don't know if it look kind of bare and hollow, but I needed to take a break. But I'm getting this one ready to rent. We're gonna rent it out. But
good for you. We have to compare notes because my house is getting rehabbed and remodeled now, and I'm going to be a landlord.
Yeah,
hopefully before the end of the year.
Well, your daughter gonna get you right. All them classes y'all been going to, you should be ready.
Actually, yes, my daughter, of course, but actually, being underneath Mr. Rodney and seeing all what happens with his landlord tenant situations has really given me an education. Not saying that I'm totally prepared, because you don't know until you actually do these things.
Yeah, that's your
right?
guru right there. He's been doing it. Yeah, yeah.
It's okay to watch somebody else when it is not your money and it's not your property.
Yeah. When they don't pay your rent, you go like, "What's up?"
All right, but when it's your property, then, it's a whole different game, and it's a little bit more emotions and everything involved. And bringing this back to the content piece that I'm telling you guys about, you got to keep that in mind. I don't think that I'm taking things lightly when I say, so what, this platform shut down, so what, that I'm not taking it lightly. But what I'm saying to you got to have thick skin, because any of these platforms get shut down. I mean, we talk about YouTube and we talk about Facebook, but you just never know, because when these governments, they all got lawsuits coming up the wazoo. You just, they're not trying to leave you in the lurch, because you are the product. They're making money off of your content.
I say that all the time. Yeah, we've always been, but more so now, because I'm talking. You in Philly, I'm in Texas. Larry, I don't know where you are, Larry, but hey, we don't need all these middlemen anymore. So yeah, you have to your point, you have to take this serious. And if you can harness and utilize, in my opinion, the technology at hand, you can concede. Go ahead, Larry. I'm sorry.
No, I have this really great comment I want to share. Actually, my friend Reg is here too. Coffee Black in the house. And I love Andrew is saying, yes, I remember I was online before Prodigy or AOL. So I've learned. So see, those platforms that we think are so big and so powerful and so almighty now, they can come down too.
No doubt. Like you've always said, that's why, your blog or your website, I'm starting to, it takes me a while to get it, but that's yours. That's your real estate. Online. So yeah,
that's right.
No doubt.
It's as close as you can get on the internet, because you need to have a domain. You need to register that domain. So, hey, those domain registrars can go away too. Look, guys, you got to have a backup plan. Mm-hmm. Okay. And once you put your online presence out there, and this is why I support folks using Anchor, if they were otherwise to say, I'm just not going to start a podcast, because once you have a podcast, even if they shut down, nobody can ever take that away from you, that you are a podcaster. I don't care if they shut down or not. Right. But if you never start, who cares that you were like, well, I was thinking about being a podcaster. That don't really count for anything.
Right. Just do it.
I'm thinking about being a billionaire, but
gotta take the first
I can't take it to the bank.
Yeah. Hey, Miss Ileane, because I don't get to talk too much anymore, but how do you do all those videos on Instagram, and where I don't have to just do 30-second clips? What app is that to where you? Oh,
there's some kind of app. I don't know. I don't use it.
Okay.
I forget what it's called. Larry, do you remember the name of them?
No.
You can search on the App Store and they'll.
I got you. I like to go to the bosses, so I'm trying.
No, I don't. I like my 30-second clip. I'm used to it now, and that's one reason why I haven't been using IGTV, because I'm like, well, this video is going on too long now for this little vertical thing here.
Right.
I don't know if I like it.
Y'all see the Padre? If you watch it, you stole my idea, but it's cool. You're in Florida. He took my little walking wisdom and put some icons and stuff on it, but it's all good, Padre.
Oh, is he here?
Nah, I'm just saying. If he watches this,
Fire away, yes.
Yeah. I see you out there in Florida, man. It's all good. I'm gonna let you use it.
Yeah, because you've been doing that for a couple years.
Yeah, well, a year. Yeah, but it's all good.
Yeah, but Friar has a Facebook group now. I haven't got a chance, because when Friar's walking, I'm literally driving to work. Yeah. And, by the time I get to work, I don't have time to watch the replay because I'm at work now. Right. Reg is one of our experts on apps, and he says, Yo Clips for iPhone works well. Oh, Clips. You're talking about the Apple Clips app.
Oh, Clips.
But
Okay.
also, I have to say hello to my friend Maria. Oh my gosh, Strong Body, Strong Soul is here. And we had an interview she just published on her podcast. So I highly recommend. In fact, I'll give you guys the link to check out the interview that Maria has this really clever way of conducting interviews. And see, this is what I mean. You got to think outside the box, people. Anchor has a tool that you can record with friends, but it cuts out a lot. But they do have a messaging tool that's very stable. So Maria came up with a very clever idea to leave all her questions as messages for the person, and then you answer as messages back to her. So that's how this interview is conducted. She asks a question, then she plays my answer. Then she asks the next question and she plays my answer. Very clever. I love it. And it's a great workflow, completely stable. We never lost anything, and her audio is good. My audio is good. And it's a great episode. I must say so myself.
Shouts out to Maria.
So thank you, Maria. I can publish clean on both stations too. That's right. And, so she thought outside the box because I didn't even think of doing it that way. And this wasn't the first interview. Mine wasn't the first one. She's been doing it this way for a while because she got frustrated with those pain points of being on a call and it would drop out. You're halfway through a conversation with somebody or you lose the stream. But the messaging system inside of Anchor, which is one of my favorite features, is very stable. You might lose every now and then, just no more than losing a piece of content on any other site. But for the most part, it's pretty stable on Anchor. But that record with friends feature where you got both people on the line, sometimes there's other things that can come into play with as far as internet and all that cuts the call off. So, yeah. So I wanted to give her a shout out. And you can't post a link, Maria, so I'll do it. I'll find it. Yep. So guys, I definitely, like I said, I wanted to definitely give you some pointers and some ideas of ways to automate your process so you won't have to suffer through some of these pain points. So Zapier is one way. Anchor has this tool where you can create your cover art. You don't have to use it for Anchor if you don't want to, but you might as well. But you can go in there, change it up anytime you want, and just add that text. And I always recommend when you're making any kind of cover, whether it's any piece of art, you're just putting it out on Instagram, you're making a YouTube thumbnail, always keep that contrast in mind. You don't want to have type that's dark on top of a dark background, because then people can't read it. You know what it says and you think it looks nice, but people can't read it. So you need to have contrast. So you would use a light background with dark text. It's nice and chunky, not that handwritten stuff that looks so pretty until somebody else has to try to read that handwritten, thin, scraggly looking text. So keep it bold, keep it contrasted, nice bright colors. And I think you'll be pleased with the outcome. I like just 1 minute too. So Maria, IGTV, I've been doing quick live on regular IGT, saving and repurposing all over. That's now, if you're going to use IGTV, that's the way to do it. Repurpose those videos so that, if they don't get that kind of exposure, because I got to be honest with you guys, I thought IGTV was going to be really very part of my workflow, but I don't even watch IGTV. When they put that little thing up at the top I close it out. I haven't watched an IGTV video in, I don't know, 3 months or so. How long has it been out? If it's been out for 4 months, I haven't watched a video in 3 months. And I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything either. So that's just me. But I watch a lot of video. I consume a lot of video, and I find that I really do prefer the landscape video. The vertical video is just not. It's just not my cup of tea. I guess because I'm just so spoiled by YouTube. Thank you, YouTube. What about you, Robert? Do you watch those IGTV movies?
I'm with you. I've watched a couple, but it's. I thought I was going to watch or consume a lot more, but something about when I guess that vertical thing. I'm not really feeling that too much myself. So.
Oh, I got an app for you. It's called Cut Story for Instagram. Okay. Cut Story. And so let me see if I can get.
Thank you.
And I had heard about that one before too. I just went over and I typed in Instagram stories in the App Store, and I said, well, whatever it is, it's going to, resonate with me. And sure enough, I saw one, and I'm like, okay, I think my daughter used it like one time, and then that was it. Okay, let me see if I can just go ahead and bring that up. So if anybody's watching this, they'll know which one I'm talking about.
Cut Story. Thank you.
So there it is. Cut Story for Instagram. It appears to be free. No, it says in-app purchases. So maybe you can upgrade it. I'm actually going to install it. And let's see if we have time to do a little demo of it. So it's installing now. So I dislike it when people go horizontal on IGTV. Gary V is doing that a lot, but it's confusing. Oh, Tish is saying she watches IGTV. Yeah, I don't even follow Gary V. Sorry. So there's that.
What? How dare you?
He's a little raw for me.
Gary V is about hustle, and my daughter, Nicole Purvey, wrote the book The Anti-Hustle.
Drop the link. You're supposed to drop the link after that, Miss Ileane.
It's called, you go to theantihustlebook.com.
Don't you have a link for that?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. On a web browser.
I got a link for that.
Drop the link.
Now, I will say, I listened to Gary's Crushing It book on Audible, and I enjoyed it. It was different people coming on, just telling their stories about how they were able to, use social media to, so that it wasn't so much of him, and he wasn't cursing me out, because I don't like nobody to curse me out. I don't care if your name is Gary or not.
Yeah. It's a problem.
So that's my only problem that I have with Gary. He probably has some good advice. He's inspired a lot of people, and I know a lot of podcasters over on Anchor. There was even a station one time called the Gary V Fan Show or something like that. And you can't knock him for the positive things and how he inspires people. But me personally, my cup of tea, I don't want nobody cursing me out.
Yeah.
In no shape or form. That's just how I am. And sometimes when you're listening to his diatribes, those F-bombs just come out, and
they come to me.
It's not supposed to be harmful, but that's just not the kind of talk I like to listen to. That's all.
Right.
If that's your thing, go for it.
Go for it.
I had a few ex-boyfriends like that. Don't ask me their names because I don't remember them.
You done took about the hard drive, Miss Ileane. Hey, Miss Ileane. I saw the 7-footer came and visited you from across the pond.
Oh, 7-footer? Yeah. Yes, Fraser Ramsey was in Philly. He came and did a U.S. tour. He was in Florida. He was in D.C. He was here. He was in New York. And so his podcast is Going Beyond Borders. And it's Fraser Ramsey Going Beyond Borders at heartsonglive.co.uk. Yeah. And we went out for lunch. Yeah. And it was nice. It was great seeing, it's great when you meet people in person that you talk to online for all these years. And so it's cool. Good.
Yeah, that was cool. I enjoyed seeing that. Yeah.
Yeah, very good. And so if any of you guys come to Philly,
we're going to holler at you.
Yeah, like when Podcast Movement was here, and I got to
Yeah.
see Sevilla. She's in our group, and just a bunch of folks that I see online all the time. And I got a chance to meet Mike from Anchor
Okay.
and listen to his presentation, and it was very interesting. Just the whole dynamic of the podcasting space, and for me, it seems like to me that it doesn't make sense to divide podcasting up into, well, these are independent podcasters, but these are all the podcasters that are dumb enough to use a free podcast host. And I take it personal. I don't like that. I don't like that. And I got that feeling. And, I told those folks that I didn't like, I felt that they were being Broad Street bullies. And by that I mean, because when Michael from Anchor gave his talk, the room wasn't full at all. Like when all these other podcasters gave their talk, the other podcast hosts, the rooms were full, standing room only. But not that many people came to the Anchor talk. But lo and behold, in the back of the room were these other podcast hosts, literally sitting in the back of the room, which to me reminded me of elementary school. And I thought, you guys are all competitors and you're all friendly. Like this is a person here. And he's also a podcast host. Why can't you talk? Like, why are you sitting in the back of the room like fifth grade?
Right. Right.
That's just my opinion. And like I said, there's nothing that I wouldn't say to somebody's face because I already called them a Broad Street bullies. I don't know if they know what that meant, but
When it's on video, they can see it.
that's right.
They can see it.
And for those that don't know what the Broad Street bullies are, that's what they used to call the Philadelphia Flyers back when they used to just literally knock people's teeth out when they would fight, at the Flyers games. There were so many hockey players with missing teeth, and a lot of them were caused by the Broad Street bullies. So that's how they got that name.
And those chiclets in their mouth, huh?
Yeah. And so there's nothing like, even though I'm not a hockey fan,
Right.
there's nothing like the Broad Street bullies.
Yeah,
So-
we'll holler at you when we come to Philly so we can know where and not to go.
Okay, so now, author Moorhead is here. Hello, author. And then Reg is my guru. Is folks like Miss Ileane. Thank you. I don't like gurus like Gary Vee or self-help people. Yeah, I know there's a lot of people that want to be self-help, and I'm like, well, I don't feel like I need that. But there are some people that do need it. There are millions of people that need it. I'm just not one of them.
Yeah,
So,
I'm with you on that. Yeah.
And it's good. And it takes all kinds to make a world. And that's why it's great that we do have all these different mediums now to get our message out there. A lot of people, because someone listened to my podcast and they said, it's not my cup of tea, but I would still like to have an interview with you. And I'm like, okay, I guess.
They
were honest. It's not their cup of tea. And I know I'm not everybody's cup of tea. I'm not trying to be everybody's cup of tea. Right? Because his podcast was not my cup of tea. So I'm kind of glad we didn't have the interview yet. Not that kind of synergy there.
Right.
It's okay. So pro basketball is a blood sport and meaner than boxing. Oh, I was talking about hockey, ice hockey, author. And I'm talking about ice hockey from, I believe the Broad Street Bullies got that moniker back in the 70s, maybe 80s, but way back in the day. It's nowhere near as brutal as it used to be, but still. Being you is being fabulous. Thank you, Alice. That's Alice's probably one of her taglines because she is fabulous with Alice. And so she says, being you is being fabulous. Hockey too. Yes. Yep. And Maria, I know she has some gripes about Anchor. And so she says, maybe if Anchor communicated with their users, better enthusiasm of its own users would improve and we brag about them. I think a lot of people are still bragging about Anchor. They really are, because getting that voice, being able to have a podcast and not really wanting to spend that money, because you're not really sure if you're going to be good. You know, a lot of people have imposter syndrome. They have these really great topics. Did you guys know Kim Kardashian was interviewed over on Anchor?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, there's a girl, and I'm. It's not my kind and not my cup of tea. Okay, because the first 5 minutes of the interview, and I guess this girl is some kind of celebrity who interviewed her. In the first 5 minutes, because I said, I'm going to try to listen. I know this is not really my topic, but seriously, that's all they did was talk about each other's boobs, no exaggeration, and how good they look in their clothes. And I could take about a minute of that,
Yeah.
but not 5 minutes. So by the time I got to 5 minutes, I was like, this is not my cup of tea. And they may have went on to talk about solving world peace. I don't know.
I got What was
And
that
if
podcast
anybody's
called?
interested in boobs, go and check out that podcast. And I'm gonna give her a shout out because she brought Kim Kardashian over to the platform.
Was it the Facade podcast?
Huh?
Was it called the Facade?
No, it was not. Let's see. It is called. Wait a minute, because she's on the homepage. Because you know Anchor is featuring her, which I don't blame them.
Yeah.
Pretty Big Deal with Ashley Graham.
I'll
So
pass.
anybody is interested in that kind of content,
Good.
and I ain't hating. I'm just saying.
Just saying.
I'm going to show you guys because you know, and she'll probably interview some other celebrities as well. And hey, go for it, Ashley. Ashley Graham, Pretty Big Deal.
I think she wants to be Kim Kardashian.
Beg your
Yeah,
pardon?
looks like a little sister, huh?
She looks like Kim Kardashian.
Imposter syndrome.
Yeah, I think she's not as small as Kim. I
No.
think she may be like one of those models that is not
Real
your
lady.
typical
Yeah.
size model. But she says she's going to talk about culture, beauty, business, and owning who you are. Okay, of course, I'm not going to play it because God forbid that gets me shut down.
You have a problem with that, huh?
I got other things I can get shut down for, but not for Kim Kardashian. So anyway, I just think it's great for podcasting because you know there's a lot of people who never heard of podcasting before, and now they heard of podcasting because of Anchor. Because believe me, Anchor offered her some money or something, or they helped her out with getting that podcast up and running.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because they've been doing that. They've been approaching podcasters and saying, yes, we can get you a sponsorships and all this other stuff, which is not my, I'm not going to judge. I'm not going to judge them. They got to do what they got to do. They want to stay alive. They don't want to shut down in the middle of the night. So if it takes going after big time celebrities for them to do that, hey, thinking outside the box. That's what they need to do, just like this artwork thing. Now, in the 14 years since podcasting has been around, or 14 or 15, how come nobody else or none of these other podcast hosts ever thought about a way for you to make your podcast cover art for free? Or if they did, if I stand corrected, let me know, because I never heard of it. I never heard of anyone else doing that. And they give you a tool to edit your podcast. And they give you a tool to, what else? Listener support. Now, Podbean has it. Podbean has something very similar to Patreon. But the way Anchor has it is integrated in no matter what app you're listening on. And nobody thought about doing that before. If you're listening on Apple Podcast app, if you're listening on the Overcast app, you see that link there that you can click on for listener support. They could have done it. They're not thinking about, they're thinking about something else. Advertising. Mm-hmm. I guess. And speaking of that, we're going to have a lot of ads on this video. So let me pause for one right now. Oh my gosh. Well, guys, thank you so much. Maria from Strong Body, Strong Soul said, boobs get listens even without visuals. Yes, they do. I bet you she is. I wouldn't be surprised if she's being featured over there on Apple Podcast.
Yeah.
Larry dropped out. Okay, Larry, thank you.
Later, Larry.
Art thing. I'm an artist. What art thing? Talking about the
Anchor.
he came back. Talking about
When you were saying Anchor and how the other podcast people hadn't thought about.
Yeah, they hadn't thought about you getting your art, your podcast cover art. They don't provide tools for that.
Mm-hmm.
They don't provide, and most of them, with the exception of Spreaker, actually Podbean has one too. They don't give you a way to record your podcast.
Right.
And like I said, Spreaker does. Spreaker gives you, and you can live stream your podcast, which I'm hoping that comes to Anchor too. But you can actually live stream your podcast on Spreaker, which I absolutely love. And I've done a few times, but they don't give you a way to edit it. And Anchor gives you a way to edit it on your phone. You can edit your pod, and I've done it. And it's easy and it works great. It didn't crash my phone or anything. It just worked. It's like it's not rocket science, okay? Why is nobody else doing this? I don't know. I really don't. So I just hope that it's like a disruption. They're disrupting the industry. The fact that it's free is neither here nor there, because who wouldn't pay $10 for all these features? You know? And Reg is saying, I love Anchor and Spreaker. And Reg is saying, we'll brag for the both of us, Maria. Reg has the Coffee Black Show, in case you ever want to check him out over there on Anchor. And thank you for your support, your listener support, Reg. It's very much appreciated. Okay, guys, I think I've been on here for about 2 hours.
It was good seeing you again, Miss Ileane.
Before you go, one of the things I wanted to mention is Adobe Spark. Like if you don't have Anchor and you're looking for podcast covers and stuff, or any other type of cover, Adobe is connected. Spark is connected with Unsplash as well. So you can use that service for free.
Yeah, there's a few apps that have that Unsplash integration. I don't know about others that are on mobile, but seems like to me there's another one. Does Canva have that as well?
I think Canva has something, because they do offer copyright free to use with $1. So they give you a license for $1 to use their images.
Yeah, and I think what part of the what makes it special that Anchor is doing this is because it's right inside.
It's integrated,
yeah. And for someone like you or myself or even Robert, who's tech savvy, who's got an app for this and an app for that, and we pop around like it's no big deal. But then there's so many users that are just like they got that one app, or they got a couple apps. They're just like learning about podcasting and trying to understand like what is an RSS feed. And, they're not thinking about, I'm going to use another app to integrate in with my podcast cover art. But you're right. There's a few ways that you can make your cover art for free. And this is just another one of them that's right there inside the app that just takes away that pain point. And Maria's over there saying, that's me, no techie. Maria always says that she's not techie, but she's always coming up with some super techie solutions for things. So I just think that, Maria, you don't like tooting your own horn. So I'm going to brag about you, because I think that idea you came up with for interviews is absolutely brilliant. So you're more techie than you claim. It's okay, though. All right. I just used my photos for cover. Simple. Yep. Use your own photos. Oh, yeah. I got so many photos on my phone. Okay, guys. I so appreciate each and every one of you. And as I close off, just to say that if you do want to support the show, you can go to my listener support, which is Ileane.link/support, or come and join the Patreon community, which is patreon.com/Ileane. All right, you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you so much, Robert. Thank you so much, Larry. And thanks
Yes.
everybody in the chat. Bye.